All right, we are live. What's going on, folks? I'm not sure if Joey's coming in, so I will switch to solo. What's up, Dowie? Good to see you, dog. So we got a bunch of big news. I'm sorry, I just came off another call, so I'm about 3 minutes behind where I would normally be, but I got a bunch of notes here. Let's see. Okay, so the first thing I want to put is I think, and this is just me being like a fun little, what's up, rumor? It's some marketing bullshit, but I think we can start to call this thing a DePIN Spring. I know the DePIN Summer has been the piece, but when I see today's news with WeatherXM announcing their mainnet date of May 30th and Wi-Fi Dabba talking about or opening up season 2, seeing lots of other projects do all of their different things. What's up, Keenan? Yeah, TikTok, right? If I'm looking at the DPU5 announcements in the Gristle King server, I'm just seeing all kinds of DePIN projects fire this stuff off. I think we're in this kind of DePIN Spring. And I look at this like my mom's a gardener. It's like all the little crocuses coming up in spring. So it's like all the little flowers are coming up, and we're starting to see the fruits of the labor of the ideally, hopefully, the end of the bear market. Now, it's not financial advice. Could be totally wrong. Could lose your ass in this whole thing. So that's it. But I think DePIN Spring is might be the new hashtag that I'm going to use. Okay, so let's kick it off with the WeatherXM announcement. I had semi-leaked that last week. I just said to pay attention over the next couple weeks. And here we are. They announced today, so Wednesday, May 22nd. Pretty cool that they are going to go live on May 30th. So if you've got a WeatherXM station, you basically don't need to do anything other than make sure that you have, an Ethereum wallet attached to it. And then they're going to run on Arbitrum, which is an L2 on Ethereum, I think. It's funny, like I do all this DePIN crypto stuff, but I'm not like that crypto savvy with all this. And I look at all of these DePIN projects, and it is super clear to me that they, for the most part, while a lot of the interaction requires some kind of geek chops or nerd chops, the actual ability to receive tokens requires almost nothing, just that you attach a wallet to it. And so I see a ton of, what's up, Spartan? I see a ton of, questions are like, oh my God, do I need this chain? Do I need that chain? Do I need to like double whammy the test nut on the Sever, super flip side and R7? Like, typically, you don't need to do any of this stuff. Like when you set the station up, whatever it is, whether it's WeatherXM or Helium or Wi-Fi Dabba or Threefold or Ator or whatever it is. What's up, Don? All you need to do is go through the setup process, and whether you're on testnet or mainnet, usually that's enough. Now, you can always find more information. I think we've talked a little bit about this before, is there are two great sources for almost all these projects to find information. Number one, and typically my first source, is to go to the docs. So for almost all of them, it's docs. Whatever the project name is, .com, whatever the thing is. So docs.WeatherXM, docs.helium, docs.whatever. Just Google that. You'll find their docs, and then you're getting it straight from the source. And there are two benefits to that, I think. Number one is you get to learn yourself what's going on, and you're not relying on some other knucklehead on Discord who may or may not be fully informed or incentivized to lead you correctly. So there's also a good time, less than 5 minutes in, to make sure that as we go into this DePIN Spring, there are going to be scams abounding. You're going to see, me jumping into your DPN or jumping into your DMs to help you bridge your tokens to some, like, that's total fucking bullshit. Do not fucking fall for that thing, right? You'll have some problem. You'll get on Telegram, you'll get on Discord, whatever it is. You'll be like, hey guys, I got this problem with my miner. Can someone help me? And you're expecting someone to help you in public. Some like low down cocksucking scum sucking asshole is going to come into your DPens and be like, in your DMs, and say like, hey, I saw you're having this, like, let me help you out. And they're going to pose as an admin, and their name will probably say, whatever, Nick Hawks, Gristle King, super admin or whatever it is. Like, that's complete bullshit. If someone slides in your DMs, why do I keep saying fucking DPNs? If someone slides in your DMs, it's very likely they're a fucking scum sucking savage. So stay away from that shit. Now, you can DM someone else first. Like if you see me, for example, on the WeatherXM channel, and you see the little, right now it's a red name, it signifies that I'm an admin. Like, check the tags, do your thing. If you want to DM me, there's some asshole. Oh, what's his? I think I delete it every time, but there's some asshole that DM'd me pretty routinely from the WeatherXM side, who'd be like, oh, you're a fucking clown, you cockbag. This is actually a pretty foul-mouthed show, so maybe I'll dial it back a little bit. and he would jump into my DMs all the time, and I would just delete it. But a lot of people will slide and be like, hey, for whatever reason, they're too embarrassed to ask it in public, or they have some question that is theirs. They can, DM me. That's fine. No guarantee that I'll answer it. If I'm not busy, I will answer it. If I'm doing something else and it seems like something you can fix yourself, usually I'll just send you a link to the docs. But if you just started the docs, you wouldn't need to DM me. So, and on Keenan's side, I don't know, Keenan, to turn off your DMs, maybe that's, whoops, I do not want to ban Keenan. I just clicked your name, this thing. So I think this is in general, probably pretty good advice if you're like a fairly normal, non-whatever influencer, non-KOL, working in the industry. This is probably good advice. For me, like I leave my DMs on. I feel like it's a good way to contact new people. And I think to 619's point, like this kind of shit, if you see this, run the other way. I mean, not necessarily from 619, although if you think 619 is DMing you, get the fuck out. If you want to talk to him, DM him first. So that thing, be super, super careful. DePIN Spring is going to have plenty of weeds coming up to try and choke out all the rad crocuses and plants that are popping up. So with all that is the negative stuff, I think, out of the way. Be careful out there. It's crypto. There's a lot of really, really rad news coming down the pipe. So super cool to see, like I said, the WeatherXM thing coming. Mainnet is going on May 30th. As long as you've got your address linked up, I don't think there's anything you need to do. I've got a couple WeatherXM stations. I'll go and double check that I'm giving you the right info. But a lot of these folks, what's up, Kenny? All these projects make it so it's as easy as possible for you to receive your rewards, because they know that is why most people are participating, is they want the rewards. As has been made abundantly clear many times, there's plenty of folks out there. And this is not me. This is not, it is judgment because I'm a judgy motherfucker. I think if you're doing this just for tokens, you probably just go get a fucking job and do something else. But if you also want to, because then you know exactly what you're getting, there's no surprises. You go in, you flip the burgers, you get your fucking $9 an hour, you walk out the door, there's no surprises. If you want to do crypto, you should go in there thinking, I'm going to lose every dollar I put in. It will probably be super fun. I'll probably get scammed at least once, and I'm going to be on the bleeding edge of what is going on in technology and all the rest of the rad stuff that's coming down the pipe in this incredibly rad time of the present. But it shouldn't be something where it's like, hey, it's going to be the same money as flipping burgers or selling houses or whatever. Like, you have no idea what you're going to make or not make. You could lose everything. And the idea that you're going to come in there and have all this like passive mining bullshit, I don't know. I don't think that's a good thing to rely on. So yeah. This is this kind of stuff. Be careful of those Crystal Kings DMing you. It's usually a scam. If it's me, you'll know you may not know it's me, but just figure it out. Okay. So I think you should generally do DePINs because you're interested in what the DePIN is trying to do, and you have some interest in what the DePIN is offering. Right? For me, like I like weather. I put up this weather station at a local paragliding spot. There was no weather station there before. Like, super useful to me. I probably shouldn't say this, but I don't give a single fuck if I get tokens or not. Like, it was a $400 weather station that requires no connectivity costs. Like, that's a pretty good deal. I don't think you can beat that, actually, because I have other stations that I'm involved with that do have connectivity costs. And even though there's a low, it's an endless cost. It will never go away. So it's basically an infinite cost. So I think the WeatherXM stuff has been super useful for me. The other stuff is look at Helium. It's been fun to fuck around with all the stuff that's on the desk back there and figure out all these little IoT pieces. Could be ATOR and you want privacy. Could be Wi-Fi Dabba and you want Wi-Fi connectivity. Although right now it's only in Bengaluru and Pune in India. But eventually spread out to the rest of the world. Could be threefold stuff where you're building a new internet. Like, all these things I'm curious about. I want to learn about. I want to figure out what's going on. I want to figure out how you share resources, how you do all these things. And that's like a rad thing to do. And if I get tokens on that and those tokens make me, Lambo rich, fantastic. If not, that's totally fine. I've got like a normal job with normal fiat coming in. Funnily enough, in the crypto world, but that's, it's important to make sure that you protect your downside, and then think of the tokens as an unlimited upside, but not a guarantee. That's a good way to think of it. So yeah. Let's see, Kenny, we'll talk about the Wi-Fi Dabba stuff in a second. I think this thing, maybe it's worth like double clicking, as the cool guys say, on this is, Keenan, I'm hoping that no one has gotten scammed by some Gristle King imposter, but they probably have. And the same thing with you. Like it's kind of the penalty for helping a bunch of people out and being in this tiny little. I always tell people because Lee will introduce me. My wife will be like, "Oh yeah, he's famous in crypto." I'm like, "Look, in this like tiny little fishbowl, I'm a fat guppy. That's about as famous as I am." But part of that means that someone will impersonate me or other folks who are also fat guppies, and they'll fuck someone over. So, gotta be really careful out there. Yeah. My dad was on me the other day. He's like, "You got to stop swearing so much." And I had really meant to stop swearing so much, but I got so excited there that I probably dropped enough to catch up for the last 6 months and the next couple months. So, yeah, Kenny, was that you that lost a boatload of tokens? 100 million? Jeez. Yeah, that sucks, dude. That sucks when it happens. I think most of the folks on here know that I've lost a bunch of money. I lost, 18 Ethereum about 2 years ago in a scam. So that's one of the reasons I think I'm so adamant about it, is that right now that 18 Ethereum is worth more than it was when I lost it. So I would really like to have that back, and I'm pretty sure it is never coming back. So total bummer there. Let's see. The Wi-Fi Dabba thing launched. I thought that was obviously it's cool at launch. It's cool to see season 2 launching. They're opening that back up. I got one of the units in the original season, so that was cool. And I will, stoked to say that Max, my partner Max Gold, helped to build the tokenomic stuff. So if you like that and it's working, let's blame that on Max. Let's give that credit to Max. And of course, the Wi-Fi Dabba team helped out with that as well. It's not like Max just delivered this perfect thing and they didn't do anything, but super cool to have his brain on that stuff. And then the token burn part was, I think, an essential part of that. So really, really cool to see that we are able to take some of the lessons learned in Helium and provide them to other projects and make sure that those projects are successful in using the current best practices out there. Also, you got to know that there's no kind of perfect knowledge, and what we think might be the best right now will change as we get new information. And so you can expect, not that anyone follows me that closely, but I'm expecting, like, if they did in 2 years, they'd come back, be like, on fucking May 22nd. Sorry, cursed again. On May 22nd, 2024, you said this one thing and it's changed since then. You're a liar. Like, it's just shit happens. Information changes. But yeah, I think right now we're doing a pretty darn good job. Okay, that's my DePIN Spring stuff that I had. I've been super busy. We've had actually a family tragedy kind of unfolding, right? So it's taken up some of my time dealing with that, and yeah, super sad there, but I will stay on the good news. Let me look at my DPU 5s so I can actually do a good job for you. All right, so season 2 is live, was Dabba's news. 619 is on there, is on the GK server as a moderator, site that WeatherXM Mainnet launched. I think Doc, you were on, or Big Doc, must have been on and saw the show last week, because I deleted it because I was like, you know what? I think the WeatherXM team has asked us not to talk about this, and I felt like the hints I gave were too close to talking about it, so I just pulled that whole thing down. But now it's out there and it's live, and it's pretty cool to see. What else is going on? It looks like Helium. Oh my God, they've got tons of stuff going down. So HIPS 123, 124 in discussion, reducing the cost of onboarding data onlys. That's pretty cool. There's 123, 124 improves the utility of the IoT token. God, I shouldn't fucking say this, but I don't care about these stupid like tokens. And actually, no, that's not totally true, because I'm doing it for the tokens. I can't say that, it has no effect on me. And man, it was so fun. Those of you guys, Keenan, I know you were there, and I think 619, you were there pretty early on. As we all remember in the early days of Helium, at least I do, walking around thinking, holy smokes, this thing is making whatever, 70 HNT a day times the HNT price of 2. It's $140 a day times 30 days. Like, those were exciting conversations to have. And so I can't ignore the fact or like pretend like tokens don't exist. But for me, the maybe it's like the two primary drivers. The most fun one is the actual utility of using the thing. So I shouldn't say that tokens don't matter, because they're the things that drive this entire thing. Let's see. HIP 119 introduces new metrics that can be used by mobile. Hey, I don't know if you guys are having this, but my Helium mobile hotspots, the one that I bought from Nova, I've got 2 indoors and an outdoor, and I saw like last week, the last couple days, they went from something like 600 mobile down to 40 or 60 mobile a day, and I just assumed it was something going on with Nova, that they're sorting it out. Like I don't worry about that stuff that much, but I was like, I wonder if there's something I can do. And I went and looked on the two that are at the shop, which is the an outdoor and an indoor, and it said they were failing speed tests and they were getting like 60 megs down and I don't know, 20 megs up or something. And I was like, well, the shop has 300 down and 50 up. And I went and tested it right then. Like I went to my phone, switched to the Helium Wi-Fi, tested it, and it was whatever, like 180 something or other. Oh, here comes Joey. 180 down and up. So it seemed like it should be totally fine. What's up, Joey? Let me see if I can loop you in here. DePIN State 2.
Oh, I can hear you.
Oh, that's not the word. Richard at XNet. No, that's not it. Let me see if I can fix this. Nope, not that one. What else have we got? Let me make sure I'm getting rid of all my things so I get this DePIN Solo. Sotin Solo. Maybe it's a Sotin 3. Hang on. Sorry, Joey. There we go. This should do it. And let me see if I can get your video on there. Video source, Joey. There we go. What's up, dog?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yo.
Took me a hot minute to get that.
Smart Cities Expo.
Dude, how's it going? I saw that it was Travis told me I was famous there. I'm on like some helium thing.
Oh yeah, is Travis on this call? I can go sneak up on him.
No, that'd be rad though.
I just saw him over on the on his laptop. Yeah, it's going well. We just started today, so the event just started.
What is that cylinder behind you? Is that a sauna? What is that thing? What's going on, Joey? Walk me through this. Fancy.
I think these are meeting booths, but I'm intimidated by them. And I almost went in there to try and take this call, but I didn't know if I was going to get like time travel or I don't know what's going on. It's called a cube.
Oh, cool. Dude, walk over there and show me some video. What's going on with this thing?
I don't know.
Look at that, like knock on the door, see what they're doing inside.
It looks just real futuristic.
Two people having super hot sex in there. Nope. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a lady working on her thing.
Yeah, this one's empty.
Huh. Cool. That's neat.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a little afraid of it, but yeah, we'll do a little walk of the hall here.
Yeah. Show me what you got, dog.
We are exhibiting with Seed Studio and Open, but we'll let you stop looking at me. So Google's got a booth. We've got Oracle and NVIDIA. Of course, everywhere you go these days, everyone's talking about AI. There's these guys over here. Should look familiar. Yeah. There's Scott.
Oh, cool. What's up, Scott?
Yeah.
Good to see you, dog.
This is Josh.
Heck yeah.
Yep.
How you doing, man?
Live on State of the Network. It is, yeah. We're live on State of the Network.
Hey, everybody, we're doing the good work out here.
That's super cool.
I can't hear because I don't enjoy it because I'm like,
Yeah.
He said it's super cool. Yeah.
Shockingly, yeah.
Universal connectivity at 2 o'clock, so we'll hopefully be able to post a link to that either later today or tomorrow.
Yeah. Scott's giving a talk, panel, or doing a panel. Yeah, all the good helium stuff going on.
Okay.
So, and I realize I'm getting like 2 frames through, so hopefully you can hear me.
Yeah. I think it's enough that we can get a good idea of what's going on. It looks less crowded than Barcelona. Like Barcelona was pretty packed. Does it seem pretty big there? Like, what are you seeing?
Yeah, this is a smaller event. A little bit, like our IoT scene, our smart city scene in the United States is not what we see in Europe.
Right.
And I think this event, to me, demonstrates that. So there's a lot of people sort of getting up to speed, sort of understanding what solutions are out there. But yeah, this is like order of magnitude different than doing an event like this in Europe. Quick little overview. There's George from Open.
Hey George, what's going on, dog? Good to see you.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
There's Amy.
Hey, what's going on, Amy? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
I'm yelling at
we
you,
have a bunch
Joey,
of
and they
the
can't
crew
hear me.
I'm pushing it on for you.
You're translating.
Here, I'll keep sort of doing the walk here. The variety of solutions that we're seeing is pretty broad. So like when we go to these events in Barcelona, there's like 50 people doing lampposts, right? And there's maybe like 1 or 2 here. So you have the sort of selection of everything. We don't quite the density that we see from those European events. But there's some server boxes.
Dude, BFG Neil's on here. Yeah, Open's doing super cool stuff with George. I know George and Travis and Neil have been working on that. It's rad to see that.
Yeah, they've got some video going. They're talking to a bunch of folks. I think we had the mayor of New York stop by our booth this morning.
Very
There's
fancy.
some, I don't know, something Scott and Josh are cooking up.
Okay.
But yeah.
So you're seeing a ton of AI. Like, is there anything that you're seeing that you haven't seen before?
Uh, there's, I'll go around here. There's a booth that was like 100% focused on rat control. That was a new one for me. And then there's a booth over here that'll tell you about the city's poop. Um, so, yeah, Doc, those are new things to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Super cool. So the rat control, I mean, we had like the smart rat traps a while ago.
Yep. So, yeah, I have yet to get back over and chat with these guys, but they've
Okay.
got some solutions on rodent control, poison free, safe, I guess.
Nice.
So I'll probably try to sick Mark Phillips on him because I think he's the number one Victor rat trap fan.
Yeah. Yeah. We got to get you, we'll have to get you like a little speaker set up for Mark to come on to chat. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I've got, well, he's not here yet, but I think he's swinging through today.
Okay.
It'll be good to see him. So, yeah, that's the hall. A quick little tour.
Wow.
There's
Okay.
a-
So it
there's
is
a-
much smaller, or like, as you said, an order of magnitude smaller than Barcelona. I mean, Barcelona would have taken me, whatever, 10, 15 minutes just to walk everything at a good speed.
Totally. Yeah, like multiple buildings,
Yeah. Yeah.
different areas of focus, all that kind of stuff. So,
Okay. And
Yeah.
is there anything super, what's going on with the AI stuff? Is it still mostly like, hey, we're doing AI, but there's actually not a lot there? Or are you seeing something like, we're doing AI, we're using it this way, and this is unlocking something that didn't exist before?
it's a mix. We've got a lot of the buzzword AI that, rub a little AI on it, it'll solve your problems.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I saw a presentation earlier. I think it was Google was giving it, and they're talking about like, hey, we were able to optimize all of the traffic lights in a city because we've got all this data, and they were able to run AI against it, and now you can move through the city better. And so you see some stuff like that where it becomes real niche for a smart city application. But it is exciting to think about some of those things in the context of like HiveMapper and some of these other decentralized things where you've got these massive data sets and AI can start to be the opportunity to unlock those things a bit. So,
Okay. What's going on with
interesting to see how
Supercaps, dude?
enterprises
Supercap
do it.
Summer. Are you seeing anything?
Supercaps? No supercaps here.
Come on, America.
The only thing where I saw this is the remote control for the TV in our booth has a solar panel on the back of it. So it's a battery free thing.
Okay.
So I found the Supercap, but in the wrong place.
We're going to have to start having
Yeah.
like Supercap booths at these things.
Yeah,
Or
we
a
got to see
619
more of
said
this
we gotta
battery.
bring this to San Diego.
Oh yeah, we can get that going in San Diego.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta get myself down to San Diego.
Come on down, dog. I'm I think I'm going to build this thing for Threefold. They've got these GPUs, and I was like, oh, what a super cool opportunity to build a computer, because I've never done that. Like it's not one of the nerd shop boxes that I've checked yet. Is to build my own little PC or whatever it is, because mostly that's for gaming nerds, and I'm not a gaming nerd. But it's like, oh, this might be the time. So I'm having Perplexity walk me through it.
Nice, cool.
Yeah.
I've held off on a lot of the PC building since like high school. I went to Mac in college and I haven't gone back.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it'll be a fun new thing to explore. I'm psyched on it. I think the work we're doing with Threefold is getting me super interested in, like, how do you start to put all this stuff together? A lot of the DePIN networks out there are doing either compute or storage or whatever it is, and those guys are putting everything together in one thing. So that starts to get pretty exciting.
Cool.
Of course, Keenan, you've built
yeah.
a PC. Keenan is a secret nerd. He comes across as like, oh, I was like a real estate guy. Like, no, you're a fucking nerd, Keenan. One of us.
Absolutely, yeah. He's deep in it.
Yeah. You gotta watch those
Keenan,
secret
you gotta
nerds.
get on one of these shows one of these days. He's got, his cats are gonna harass us nonstop, but he's got a lot to say.
Okay. Keenan, if you don't have the link, let me know. I'll drop it and we'll get you in here. Secret. Yeah, right. Yeah. Keenan is not a secret nerd. You're a very public nerd. Fair enough. Cool. Anything else, Joey, that we should know about?
Uh,
Look at?
I mean, I haven't fully done the rounds and talked to all these booths yet, so
Okay.
I'll go learn more about rat traps and sewer poo sensors and all of that other fun stuff.
Yep.
And I can report back next week. But,
Okay.
actually, you know what? We've got the community call next week, so
So
we
yeah,
get a
super
little interim.
great. I'll take the week off, which would be nice for me because.
You're good. I'm gonna see you in person.
Oh yeah. Oh
In
yeah,
Memphis.
at Austin. I guess
Yeah.
I won't be taking the week off. I'll be in Austin. So, dude, this is a funny thing. I'm flying into Houston to Max. I'm gonna stay the night at his place, and then we're gonna drive up to Austin together. And he's gonna introduce me to his whole life. I'm so psyched to like walk through Max Gold, a day in the life of Max Gold. I
Nice.
totally want to
Okay.
document that.
You're gonna roll. You're gonna roll up in the pollen mobile.
Yeah. I'd be like, hey, get them bumblebees out. Let's stack this thing high.
Send all of my love and harassment to Max.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's
No,
plenty of it to go around.
I'm looking forward to it. That guy is so much fun to hang around. I think, like, we talk about this like, oh, this is a work trip, but I spend most of my time just laughing, talking to that guy because he's got so many different takes on the world that are just, yeah, not the normal take. So,
Yeah, he's got good perspectives.
yeah.
Well, sweet. I will.
All right.
I'll drop because I know it's going to be a noisy background for me. But yeah, looking forward to catching up with you next week.
Cool.
And,
I will see you
thanks
next
for
week.
having me on.
Great. Thanks for checking in. All right.
See ya.
All right. Back to, let's see. What else was the other thing I did this week is I got actually back into helium a little bit. Let me see if I've got it right here. It's, so I've been working on, I've got these Rack 10701s that if you remember, I got for the helium in the wild thing that I did, whatever it was, 2 years ago. I turned one of them into, let me see if I can turn it on now. Where's the button? Into a Meshtastic node. So not a DePIN, relax. Let's see if this thing is firing up or if I turned it on. Yeah, there we go. Cool. And I turned this thing into a little Meshtastic node, and that was super fun. There we go, to do. So this is a whatever Meshtastic piece. It'll click through. Hopefully there's no secret information on there. 2 days ago. Yeah. So there's a bunch of different screens on it. And once it picks up GPS, it'll start pointing everything out, but it'll point out all the different places. It's just in general, a fun project to do. And then I've been trying, oh geez, this thing fell apart. That doesn't look good. So the inside of this thing, let's see if I go upside down here, is that. You got to be careful with this ribbon, or I think you should be careful. I've been trying to get this thing to work. So when these were FTDs, field test devices, they were always really difficult to, or like kind of buggy to work. And so I stopped fiddling with them a couple months after I got them, because every time I turn it on, the thing wouldn't turn off, or wouldn't turn on, wouldn't turn off, wouldn't do the thing I wanted it to do. And I'm coming back to them now. So it's I'll put it in the chat here. Rack 10701. When people tokens, I don't think those people tokens are going to come back, although I think they still exist. So let's see, add a broadcast, Rack 10. So you can get one of these things, I think, for like $90 on Rack's site. If I was a decent influencer, I'd give you the affiliate link, but I don't give a shit about that. So you can get one of these, and my plan is I would like to see what you can do with this thing beyond just a helium field test device. It's got Bluetooth, it's got GPS. I don't think it has Wi-Fi. Let me actually look in here and see if there's two antennas or just the one. No, there's just the, so it's got a Bluetooth antenna, it's got a GPS antenna, and it's got a LoRa antenna. So I think there's some neat stuff you could do. And this is, if Gray Hat watches this, I think we could do some cool stuff where you war drive around, you pick up BLE networks, and then you transmit some information about those Bluetooth networks over LoRa to whatever, figure out like signal strength and like map out BLE. So I think that'd be like, maybe be a fun project to do with those things, because they have everything on there and they've got the GPS as well. And I think in general, because it's a touch screen and a display, is that there's a ton of like fun possibilities to dig in there and muck about with these things. So kind of a cool project. If you have one and you're in the GK server, just pop in and say like, hey, I've got a 10701. What I might do is open up like a 10701 channel and tag you into it so that a normal person wouldn't see that, but you will. Maybe that's what I'll do. But I think it's like a fun kind of potential project to see just what we can do with those, because it's based on the Wiz block. And I'm sure, Travis and Jason and the rest of them will come in and tell me like, oh, you can't do that or you can't do this, but we can definitely do that. That might be fun. The other thing that's been super cool, if you've been on the GK server lately, is we've been doing some testing and developing and really exploring on antennas in the GNSS space. So, working on the Onakoi project, you can put your own antenna in there, and there are rewards based on how good the antenna is. So the same thing doesn't hold true in GeoNet, right? Once you have the GeoNet set up, you're kind of done, and everything is based on your position and the like where you are as far as location, just like a regular DePIN, as well as what kind of view of the sky and how stable your antenna is. But there's not, as far as I can tell, a significant reward for upgrading the antenna that you have. With Onakoi, it's not a significant reward, but it can be significant or it can be meaningful. Use your word. For me, it's fun to improve the setup. Is you can get a better receiver, you can get a better antenna, and then Simeon on security, who helped Andreas Spiess do the recent thing that he did on Onakoi. And hopefully I'm saying that right. I think you've corrected me before and I screwed it up, but I'll say it as I read it. Might be Simon, but we'll call it, maybe it's Simon. Simon on security had done this thing where he's like, hey, I found this paper on this dude up in Canada who's an antenna nerd, and he built a choke ring, which is basically like a way to, I'm going to way oversimplify this, but a way to screen out, was it multipath? Right. So the signals that are bouncing off buildings don't hit this thing. So it makes the feed or the data quality feed from the antenna better. Now I'm like super oversimplifying that, and clearly I don't understand it fully myself. But the idea is that you could take this choke ring, put it on an antenna, and it makes the data quality from the antenna better. The problem is that choke rings are something like $3,000 if you go buy one, because they're milled out of metal. And so this antenna nerd up in, and I say that because he may watch this and like, hey, when I say nerd, like that's a term of respect and endearment, had figured out this low cost way to build a choke ring. And so I wrote him, I was like, hey dude, could I get the file for that so I can 3D print it? And he's like, oh, I don't let me go see. He sent me over the file that he'd had for his simulations. It's too big to print in my Prusa. But it's not too big for a local 3D printer to print it. It's about $200 to print. And if you wrap it in copper tape, if I'm reading this white paper right, and then you put it around your antenna, and there is a lot of like kind of customization that needs to happen. But let's say for $300 instead of $3,000, you can have a rippingly good choke ring around your GNSS antenna, which makes the data quality feed better, which for Onakoi is going to earn you more tokens. Now, it's not going to be like a 40% jump. It's going to be a couple percentage difference. But for those of us who've been in DePIN, especially if you're in DePIN early, a couple percentage points can make a big difference. And then going back to some of the stuff I'd said earlier on this stuff, on the whole DePIN thing, DePINs get super fun when you have the ability to do a better job and get rewarded more for that. So I think that's one of the cool things coming down the pipe there that I'll be working on in the next couple of weeks is how do we make it so that even if it's only a couple percentage difference, how do we make it so that you could print out this choke ring if you have a big enough 3D printer, or you just take it to a local 3D printer, you give them the file, you spend your whatever, $222 or something to print the thing. You wrap it in copper tape, whatever that costs on Amazon. I'm going to total guess. I have no idea. Let's say it's $100. So now you're at 328. But that saves you, what is that? 3,000 minus 328. That's 26. Call it 2,700. Something like that. It's less than 3,000. I'll tell you that. 609. You can make fun of my public math there. Yeah. And you've got this super cool thing. And I think that is just one of the things you can probably do. So it really exciting to see these DePIN projects come in and say, okay, this is the best way to build an incentive system that creates a community that is competing with each other, as well as sharing information on how to do the best possible rollouts. I think one of the interesting challenges with DePINs is got a bunch of people like me. I'm not a GNSS expert. So when I come into a project, typically you'll just be like, hey, what do I need to buy to set this thing up and have it work? And then from there, it's like, okay, now that I've got the thing set up, I bought it, I set it up and it's working. How do I make it better? And if you're not an antenna expert, you can really quickly get lost in like, oh, what do I need? Like the helical backspin, 7 in 12 left-hand twist or whatever it is. Or do I need a choke ring or et cetera, et cetera. I think there's a lot of room for guides that say, here's what you need. Here's how to do it. Here's about what it's going to cost you. And here's like a step-by-step build to make the thing really cool. And that'll probably be something that both I do and hopefully other folks in this world do as well, so that we share this knowledge as much as possible. Because I think there's this really interesting balance aspect of how do you be competitive, but also share knowledge so that the entire project becomes high quality. Because if you have a high quality project, then it actually delivers value to the world. So that's what's going on in my world. Yeah, I think I'm taking off next week, and I will see hopefully some of you guys in Austin. But that's most of what's going down. I'm going to get back and go jump into the WeatherXM server, and I'm going to work on this build thing for Threefold, because I've wanted to build one of these little GPU, whatever, home server, etc. things for a long time, and this is a cool excuse to do it. So that's what's going on in my world. Hopefully you guys are having a rad week, and I will see you next time. I'm out. Rock and roll.